Is this play about us? Like, hello and assalamu alaikum, it's your girl Nadira. Welcome back to another video. Quick disclaimer before we get into the video, my smoke detector is gonna make an appearance. It's gonna make a regular appearance. I'm gonna do as much as I can with the audio to try and, like, you know, lighten it, but the fact of the matter is we need a new smoke detector. It's not the battery, girl. Our smoke detectors in our house, the ones down here, are not battery operated. They are directly connected to the electricity in the house. So that beeping means you need a new smoke detector. And now that I say it out loud, it's a bit more urgent than I'm letting on. Like, that smoke detector should not still be up there. But inshallah, everybody remains safe. I mean, now that we've gotten that out the way, let's jump right into the video. So I know, the title is jarring. It's extremely jarring. And that's how I felt when I came to this realization. Like, I was bamboozled. I was jarred, okay? I was shocked. I was all of the things when I had to ask myself the question, do I hate myself? And before we can really get into it, let me rewind and let you know how I even came to that conclusion. So, of course, I was on social media, I was on Twitter. And there's like this, I think on Twitter it's called like a community. It's called Girl Talk 101. I think that's what it's called. Or it might be Girl Talk Uncensored or something like that. And a woman posted a tweet in the community and was like, how do you know when a man hates you? So the quote tweets are crazy. Women are like, he's very inconsistent. He doesn't show up for you. He doesn't show that he cares. He doesn't express his love and adoration. He doesn't take you out. He doesn't, you know, buy you things. He doesn't give you words of affirmation. And it was all these things that, as a woman who has dated a man that hated me, still to this day hates me, they're absolutely correct. But as I'm reading these things, I'm like, hold up. Is this about me? Is this play about us? Like, and in the moment when I came to this realization, because over the summer I was like, I'm not gonna date anybody. Like, it's all gonna be about me. But as the summer is coming to an end, I was like, okay, do I want to get back into dating? But for the duration of the time that I was not dating, I was like, all of this relationship stuff that I'm reading, I'm going to apply to myself and the relationship that I have with myself. So I'm reading all this and I'm like, do I hate myself? And in the moment, it kind of had me stuck. Like, I just sat there and I was just like, I might. And what bothered me so much about it, I could not give myself a concrete no. Like, I thought about it. It got to the point where I was like ruminating on the question of, do I hate myself? And I was asking myself that question because I've been thinking a lot about my lack of discipline when it comes to myself, when it comes to my work, when it comes to this YouTube channel. So as I'm reading the quotes to this tweet, I'm like, I'm not consistent with myself. I don't show up for myself. I don't express loving and kind words for myself. I'm not really treating myself. I don't pay much attention to myself. I don't, like, in the way that I act with myself, in the way that I treat myself, in the way that I talk to myself, the way that I think about and envision myself, I'm not really committed to myself and to my life and to getting the things that I want. So I was forced to ask myself this question and really explore, do I hate myself? And to keep it short, to keep it light, to keep it honest, kinda. I kinda do. I don't have an overall negative view about myself. Like, I don't think that I'm the worst person in the world and oh my God, she's this and she's that. But I can only conclude that based upon the actions, or really based upon the inaction that there's no way that I could possibly be loving myself. There's no way that I could possibly love and care about someone, i.e. myself, if I'm not being good to her. And sometimes you need to like think about yourself in the third person in order to better understand yourself and your treatment of yourself. Like, not until someone framed someone else's behavior. Like, if someone else were to treat me how I treat myself, I would never say that they love me or care about me. I would never, because it would be a lie. So once I came to this realization about myself and I ruminated on it and I came to the conclusion and I was finally able to be concise and clear and honest, of course, I journaled about it. This is a journal that I got. I love this journal, first of all. This journal is by, I don't know, I went to some expensive store in New York City and I found this journal and a man bought it for me. A man that I have multiple pages in this journal about how he broke my heart, and that irony is hilarious. But anyway, this is a journal that I got and I've committed to like journaling again. So I like wrote a whole page and it was so dramatic, for lack of a better term, but I was literally like, usually I journal at home, but this time I journaled like in the masjid. Like, I went to the masjid one night and they were like doing the adhkar and I was like, I should just journal here. So I wrote about hating myself and the possibility of hating myself and all these other things. And it was hard. It was hard. Like, it was hard to attempt to cope with that thing and to think about the fact that not only do I hate myself, but I mistreat myself as a result of hating myself. So then I began to unpack, like, well, how long have I hated myself? Well, to what extent do I hate myself? And then finally it was like, okay, you have to do something about it. You have to do something about it. Like, you can't just be like, oh, okay, well, I hate myself, and then, okay, cool. So I began to ask myself the question, if there was a person that was hating me, was in the process of not treating me well, of not being good to me, and I had come to the conclusion that they hated me, they didn't like me, they didn't favor me, all the things, what would they have to do in order to prove that they loved me, that they wanted to love me, and that they were going to love me? And I was like, these are the things that I need to start doing in order to prove to myself, or not even prove to myself, that I love me. Like, I don't want it to be a thing of like, see, I do love you, because I don't. And that's hard to admit, especially as a Black woman who being unloved is like almost something that damn near happens at birth. And so it is a radical thing to make the decision and to actively be loving yourself. So to figure out and to find out that my years and my months of not being consistent, of not being disciplined, of not being committed, of not being kind, of not feeling worthy, of very low self-esteem, of very low confidence, were all a result of the fact that I don't love myself, and generally I don't think there's much to love about myself. And it sounds and it feels like even disgusting to admit something like that. Like, if there's anybody that should be loving you, it's you, right? And to even know that I have this desire and this expectation to be loved by everyone else, however, not being able to do those things for myself, or not doing those things and being those things for myself, is hard and it hurts. So I was like, what do I need to do in order to love myself? In order to actually love this woman, this person, this individual that I am, you know? So I started thinking about that. But before I wanted to write down the things that I could do to love myself, I had to ask myself, what is it that I hate about myself? Like, what are the things that I can pinpoint that I'm like, yeah, not a big fan, not a favorite? And there's a couple things that I feel comfortable sharing with you guys. I'm not a consistent person. I'm not. I do one thing, and unless I'm having like the best time in the world, I probably won't come back to it, i.e. this YouTube channel. And this YouTube channel, though it is something that I do treat like a hobby, is very much so a passion project for me. And it is something that I kind of use to judge all my other creativity. Whereas I'm like, if I could be consistent on YouTube, I can finally get all these other projects out the way. These other projects that are not even YouTube related. But YouTube is kind of like the scale that I use. So that's number one. I'm not consistent. I'll pick something up, put it down. I've tried to learn to knit and crochet, picked it up, put it down. With my gaming system, I pick it up, I put it down. So many other things. Number two, I don't entirely trust the decisions that I make for myself. And I'm getting better at that because I'm working at that. But I don't really trust myself. I don't really trust myself. And it's like kind of silly to like hate that about yourself when you can change that about yourself. But especially when that's something that's like not just innate. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you have some sort of hand in. But I hate that. Number three, I hate the fact, this also plays into consistency, but this is very specific. I hate the fact that I have not been as active as I would like to be. Like, I haven't gone on a walk. I haven't gone on a jog. I keep saying like, oh my God, I'm gonna do these Pilates videos consistently. Haven't done them. Number four, I hate the fact that I'm not disciplined. I'm not disciplined. I spend all damn day on this goddamn phone, and I hate that so much. And for the month of August, I decided that I was gonna offload all of my apps because I didn't want to delete them because I don't want to go back into like signing in. So on an iPhone, if you go to your iPhone storage, you can offload an app. So it will basically like have the app in like a holding place for you. And then once you download it again, like you're still logged in and everything. I've offloaded and re-downloaded the app so many times. All day I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm looking this up, I'm looking that up. And it has kept me from going to bed on time, from eating right, from exercising, from working on my YouTube, from working on my other projects, and I can't stand that. What are we on, number 5? I hate and this is the final one, I hate that I spread myself too thin. Like I am a person that has a bit of difficulty saying no. Like I know I need to get home and I need to get in the bed because I need to get ready for tomorrow. But this also ties into discipline. This also ties into me not trusting the decisions I make for myself. This also ties into so many other things. And all of these things are intertwined because y'all know everything has everything to do with everything. But I end up spreading myself too thin. I end up tired. I end up lazy. I end up missing deadlines. So those are like the top 5 things that I can think of as far as what I hate about myself. So then in turn, when I have to ask myself the question of, well, now what can we do to love ourselves? What can we do to be more loving, to be more kind, to be more caring, to be more gentle with ourselves? The number one thing is being clear about my goals. Like, what do I actually want? How do I actually want it? How do I go about achieving it? You know? And when I think about like my goals and what I want and how I can do it, the fact of the matter is, when you have a goal and you set a goal, the way to reach that goal is just to make a bunch of decisions. So if I say I'm gonna post every week on YouTube for a month, that means if I'm invited to the function, but I know I have a video at home that needs to be edited, I need to make a decision. And when I make that decision, I need to trust it. And in turn, I need to trust myself. So number one, highlighting exactly what my goals are. Number two, making better decisions. Making better decisions. I know I don't need to watch this X-Men movie tonight. I don't need to watch my favorite comfort movie of all times, aka Sherlock Holmes. I don't need to watch it at 12 o'clock in the morning, at 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to go to bed. So making better decisions. Number three, having a relentless commitment to myself. Because the fact of the matter is, and this is possible for anybody, but I don't have many factors that are keeping me from my goals. I don't have any super duper major bills. I don't have a husband. I don't have no kids. I don't really have anybody else to consider in my decision making. Like, these are, I don't want to say the prime years, but this is the prime time for me to be committed to my goals, for me to be committed to myself. So committing to myself and my goals. Number four, I think we're on number four, doing things with love. And I've talked to, funny enough, I've talked to my family about this. I come from a family who are very goal-driven people, but they drive towards a certain goal in a very harsh way. So my family, for example, somebody in my family would be like, oh, I gotta lose this weight. Like, I gotta get in the gym. I gotta work out. I gotta lose this weight because I'm so fat and I'm so big and it don't look good and I don't feel good and da-da-da-da. So they approach meeting their goals from a very harsh way. And I learned at a very early age, that doesn't work for me. Like, fear, harshness, being unkind does not work for me. It's not a good driver towards my goals. I am a woman. I need pretty things, beautiful things. I need fun. I need plush. I need gentle. I need love. I need kind. I need sweet. I need comfort. And I am a woman that understands that everything is not going to be like that. Some things are going to be hard. And that's just the fact of life. And I've had my share of very hard, very difficult things. But overall, nothing drives me like knowing when I get through this hard thing, comfort waits for me. Love waits for me. Kindness waits for me. The things I truly want and desire, the beauty of the world and of life waits for me. And that is the driving force that I need. So I don't need to hate myself to get things done. And the fact of the matter is, one thing that I've seen, hating myself has not helped me to get things done, has not helped me to be a better woman, has not helped me to achieve my goals. So I have to do it with love, with light, with kindness, with all the beautiful things. I think that was number four. So number five is I really have to remove all distractions, i.e. my phone and social media. I have to be able to prove to myself that I am capable of removing the distractions in order to meet my goals. I have to prove to myself that I'm able. I am of able body and I am of able mind to get the things done that need to be done. I do. And the fact of the matter is, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. I watched a TikTok about this where this guy was like, oh, not to get too deep, not to get all hotep, but he was like, if you want to make quantum leaps between who you are and who you wanna be, start doing the things that you need to do. Have days where you just complete all of your tasks. And if you guys watch my video, I didn't have that language, but I was already doing that with my to-do list when I started doing my to-do list. And it works and it helps a lot. So I just need to get things done. And there was some time in July where I was like, every day I'm gonna do the things that I need to do without thinking about it. Because usually I'm like, okay, if I want to do the dishes, I have to sweep the floor. But then I can't sweep the floor until I vacuum the rest of the house. But then I can't vacuum the rest of the house until I get this laundry done. Da-da-da-da. And then by the time I finish thinking about that, nothing is done. So just doing the things. Like, I have to see for myself that I can do the things, because I have to rebuild trust. I have to recommit. I have to achieve my goals. And ultimately, these are things that I truly believe will help me love myself, will help me get back to loving myself. Because not dating throughout the course of the summer was about, in general, me not feeling like there was anybody to date, but then also me wanting to spend some very intentional time about returning to myself. Because the fact of the matter is, I'm about to be 28. And 27 drug me through the mud, girl. You hear me? Drug me through the mud. And so I'm like, I need to know who I am again. I need to spend some time with me. I need to know what I like, what I'm into, what I want, how I want it, when I want it. Pause. So I'm kind of sad that I went so long not knowing that I hated myself, but as people, we know everything happens when it's supposed to happen. So I'm happy that I've come to this realization right before my birthday, so I can really work towards being a better person, being a better woman, going after better things. So yeah, that's my spiel about finding out that I hated myself. To be fully transparent, I have therapy tomorrow. So early September is gonna make 2 years of me going to therapy, which has been a wonderful help. Shout out to her, shout out to my journal, shout out to God. Amen, amen. And what I will say, the purpose of this video was to connect with you all, to be honest about my own journey and my mental health and my life and my mental and emotional state. But I would also love to hear about how you show love to yourself, how you ensure that in spite of everything, you are actively loving yourself and that you do love yourself. So please leave all of that down in the comments. If you have had experience with coming back to yourself from hating yourself, from disliking yourself, I would love to hear about that. I would love to connect with you guys. But yes, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another video. And thank y'all for the love that you guys shown on the previous content, on the content to come. I don't want to promise you anything, but the fact that with the help of God, I am returning to myself. So I don't know what that's going to look like in my life. And ultimately, I don't know how that's going to translate onto this channel. But we pray for the best no matter what. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.